Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Eunickah for those of you that do not know me, and I tend to make videos on books, lifestyle and travel. And today I'll basically be speaking about the book series that got me out of the biggest reading slump that I have ever been in. When I tell you this reading slump was so bad, I hadn't picked up a book, I think, I would say from November of last year to about February of this year, and that's when I discovered the series, and it is actually amazing, and I will talk about some of it in this video. So the series that got me out of the biggest reading slump that I've ever been in is called Heaven Official's Blessing. It is actually, I think it's written by a Chinese author. My first time diving into this world or realm, and it is actually an eight book series. Unfortunately, I don't have volumes 1 and 2, still need to get them. However, this series is actually amazing. Like, I don't think you guys understand how this series had me in a chokehold. I was basically telling my colleagues at work about me buying the books and me finally getting the books, and me basically just going crazy about this whole series. Like, I couldn't stop talking about this. That is how amazing this series is. So let's get into it. Okay, I don't have footage of me reading volume 1 and 2. However, both books were 5 stars. I'm finally back on my reading game. I just finished volume 3 of Heaven Official's Blessing. When I tell you guys, this book is so good. It's so good. This book basically, because it's the 3rd installment, it basically talks about the 2 main characters, and it goes into depth about the history and how they met, and then you see the whole timeline of how the main character became a heaven official and decided to leave heaven in this case, and how he came back down to earth and basically became the prince of Xiangli again. And you just see his whole journey of how he became, or how he went from being one of the most well-known warrior officials to being known as the god of misfortune, basically. And we go through that whole story, so that is like a jump in the past. It is so good. I cried. It is so sad when you just see everything that he's been through. You kind of see also how his perspective on life changes, how he started off being the super confident, strong official, and as things just got worse, you can see him slowly lose confidence in himself, which is kind of sad. And then after that, it jumps to Back to the Future. I don't want to go too much into detail. I think you should read this book yourself. But when you get Back to the Future, it basically goes to him and his cousin, and his cousin is kind of possessing another body or another man's body, and the cousin doesn't want to leave the body, so he ends up taking the cousin as a hostage. And then from there, he basically has more mouths to feed. So he obviously doesn't have a lot, and so he needs to find ways to make more money. And then he does find a way to make more money, and that leads him into doing this little quest. Let's call it a quest. And he does it, and then something happens in the quest that just makes you want to smile. Oh my word, it's so good. And something happens in the quest, and the moment it happens, you're like, oh my word, this is actually happening. I can't believe this is happening. And even the main character is like, wait, is this really happening? But it's so good. And then after that happens, we then move on to the next quest that involves another heaven official, and is asking this other heaven official is basically asking Shelian for help, and it ends like that. And then we go into volume 4, which I started this morning, and I'm going to continue. This is so cute. Like, guys, I don't think you guys understand. I'm not even far in. Like, I'm 18 pages into this book, and it is the cutest thing ever, because you just see how flustered the main character, who is Shelian, how flustered he gets when speaking to Wachang. It is the cutest, adorable thing ever, because you would never have thought that a prince, a heaven official, a powerful being, you would have never thought someone like that would just be so flustered when they are in close proximities with the other main character, which is one of, I think, the 4 ghosts. It's so good, guys. It's so good. So cute. Guys, I can already predict that this book or this series is going to be one of my favorites, and it's going to break my heart, and it's probably going to make me feel like so many different emotions, because how we only on volume 4 and I'm already like feeling so much. Oh, I'm so ready. It's been a while since a book has made me feel this kind of way. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a while, like a long while. Why did that want to make me cry? That just like made me want to cry. This is kind of just like, how did we go from, guys, I'm only on page 39, but how did we go from Wachang being such a mischievous little person to him basically saying, I'll read it for you. So the Wind Master, I can't pronounce his name, but I think it's Shi King Xuan. He basically asked Wachang, because they're playing a game, and he basically asked Wachang, what's the worst suffering in the world, right? And Wachang basically posed the question back to Shi King Xuan, the Wind Master. I'm going to say Wind Master because Shi King Xuan is always just going to be a mouthful for me. And so Wachang basically posed the question back to the Wind Master, and the Wind Master mentioned something like a tragedy that happened in a city, and Wachang basically said no, that's not something that we should be fearing, or basically it's not what's the worst suffering for him in the world. And basically Wachang then responded by saying this is what his worst suffering is, and he said softly, he said, watching your beloved be trampled and ridiculed with your own eyes and being unable to do a thing about it. You understand that you are nothing, that you can do nothing. That's the worst suffering in the world. That is so sad. I am only it's cold, guys, so I'm like wearing a hoodie, but I am only 25 pages in. Clearly you can see, but when I tell you guys the BS that Wachang is trying to pull is so obvious, but it's obvious to me, right? And I think it's obvious to Shilian, but I also feel like Shilian is just trying to put the pieces together. And I'm here reading this like, this man is trying so hard to hide that he's been at this specific place before simply because of something that's going on. I don't want to spoil it, but it's actually, it's so insane to me, I think. Oh, guys. Oh, the man is obsessed and I am obsessed. Guys, can I just say I'm like halfway through this book, and can I just say this book is making me feel so sad. You know, I'm reading this book and there's this section that's happening in the past, like the author's basically giving you a little snippet from the past snippet, and as I'm reading it, I'm not even like close to the end, but as I'm reading it, I'm realizing that Shilian, the main character, has every right to turn into the bad guy, and the fact that in the future he's still a good guy, it breaks my heart. Like, just listen to this. So something is happening in the past, and Shilian basically fell from grace, he fell from heaven, or he got banished, and he's basically trying to ascend again. And the way that he can ascend is to basically cultivate and train more so that he can become a better person, essentially, and then he'll hopefully ascend if he is good enough. And then he wanted to go to a place where there was enough spiritual energy in the land so that he could train. So essentially that would make his training or help speed up his training. And something happens in the book while he's at this land, and it just makes me feel so sad, because something happens to him, and then someone that he once called his close friend didn't help him at all in this moment. And basically, like, listen to this, it's such a simple sentence, but it just breaks my heart. And then it just says, and thus Shilian understood. So he's like, okay, so this is how things are going to be from now on. And then it goes on to the next sentence where it basically says no one would lend him a hand to help him up. So, oh, it's so sad. Oh, I'm gonna cry, because like, he's going through so much. You know, I love reading, but the fact that it makes me feel just so heartbroken, and I'm only on volume 6. Like, he's just trying so hard, and he's trying so hard for himself, for his friend, for his mom, for his dad. He's trying so hard to like keep a straight face, only for him to be kicked down. And then the nail on the head being that his friend, his other friend that he trusted, didn't even help him. Like, he has all the reason to be a villain, and the fact that he's not just breaks my heart.